Hello, Chester here. Today we're going to play the MTGA Timeless Open hosted by the MTG Eternal Discord server. Thanks to all the organizers of the event. This event doesn't even have an entry fee, and they were generous enough to have a $200 prize pool for this one. And in the interest of making new content, I decided to bring a new deck. I honestly don't want to bring Frog Tempo for the third time in a row. And this will look familiar to everyone who has played Timeless before Modern Horizons 3. This is just a reskinned version of the Jace Valky deck. We surgical jerkers called the kitchen work towards a plan that works in the current meta. Def Chef has been working on this deck for a while now. I only picked it up because it was a reason to run the course cards. I think the course cards work best inside these types of shells where you want games to go long. And the main theory for this deck is that it gains advantage by playing absolutely minimal creatures. Even then, I don't even count Orcish Bowmasters and Lures as creatures in this deck. Lures is essentially a free card, and you play Bowmasters for the ping it provides. Sometimes it just chump blocks, buys you a lot of time. Timeless is a removal heavy format. Energy, for example, plays 5 to 8 removal spells. Dimir Tempo has a range of 4 to 6 removal spells. Almost every deck will have a removal spell. In this deck, you don't really cast Valky for its creature side. You are going to cheat it with the plot ability of Jace, because once you plot Valky, you can cast the Planeswalker's side, which costs 7 mana, for free the following turn. And this combo is our main win condition that just slams the door shut on our opponents, using their cards to win the game, or simply beating them down with Bowmasters is possible. Let's talk about the one-offs. Spell Pierce is a good one-off card since there's a chance that you can get paired into a combo deck and you need to have cheap interaction. It's also not that bad against Energy or Dimir Tempo, as you can still hit non-creature spells from those decks. Spell Snare is a very good card, which Tempo could reasonably run 2 to 4 in their main deck, but we're not interested in tempo advantage that much in game 1 and would rather have versatility in our counter magic. That's why we have a one-off Drown in the Lock here. This is flexible removal and a counter spell in a nutshell. The reason you don't want more of this is because the spells are popular and some energy variants are running Flage. You could replace this with a counterspell if you want, but I personally think the versatility of Drawn in the Lock is worth having. Now for the chorus package. So what makes the deck tick is you can curve Shanti essentially a shock at first. It deals damage equal to its intensity. So it starts with intensity 2, so it's a shock at first, and all chorus cards you own will intensify by 1. Hymn to the Ages. Once you cast another chorus card, it will draw you 2 cards and more, and it just adds up even more as you cast more chorus cards along the way. Ballad here is our sweeper of choice. Usually these decks run a singleton Damnation or Toxic Deluge, but we are going to run the chorus version of a sweeper, which is this ballad. Each player sacrifices X creatures and you gain X life. So the life gain is pretty relevant against energy or any type of aggro deck. And since it also intensifies other colors cards, it makes these two more powerful. And we have the singleton control package here, which is Cling to Dust, Demonic Tutor, Commit. Demonic Tutor being just a very good card. You can get whatever you need at a certain point of the game. Commit to Memory, this is actually secretly the hidden win condition of this deck. So once you get a Bowmasters going, you can commit to memory and kill your opponents with Bowmasters. Link to Dust is our choice of card advantage here, just in case we don't have our curse cards. Since we're not really eating our graveyard that much, Cling to Dust is a very good source of card advantage engine while providing us main deck graveyard hate. And since Frog is relatively popular, we can't rely on damage based removal. We're going to have we're going to need Fatal Push and Blood Chief's Thirst. Now, we chose this split because Blood Chief's Thirst deals with planeswalkers like Flipped Ajani or Flipped Tameo, and it's essentially acting as the fourth Fatal Push. In this deck, we're already running seven removal spells, or eight if you count John in the Lock. So I think that is enough. Four push might be overkill, and it still doesn't hit a lot of stuff. And as for the land base, it looks a bit greedy, but we're actually running 23 lands. So we have five lands here, which come in tapped. But Mystic Sanctuary isn't actually tapped. You're mostly going to want to see this during turns 4 onwards. And we have two extra Lorian reveals here, which I usually just count as extra lands. You really want to be hitting land drops in this deck without casting your brainstorms, because you mostly want to brainstorm later in the game for card selection. And the power of this deck is being able to run three Mystic Sanctuary. So you can just keep bringing back him to the ages, and eventually you're going to be drawing three or four or five cards each time you cast it. Now, as for the sideboard, we have the additional spell snares, since we're going to need this against the energy decks and the tempo decks. Surgical extraction, this comes in just in case we face any other control decks or reanimator decks. Ghost vacuum is for reanimator decks. You can also bring this in against tempo decks. Test of talents. Again, this is good against the mirror and also show and tell. Long goodbye is tech for frog. Cluster storm. This is mostly again for the show and tell matchup. The triple Thoughtseize, these are for the combo matchups. We also have Pyroclasm and another ballad here for the energy matchup. Torpor Orb is a new tech here because Banemerc and Dollmaker decks are getting popular. Disruptor Flute is just a good card overall for hitting Planeswalkers or Necropotents. You can even name Veil of Summer against Show and Tell with this card, or name Show and Tell itself. Anyway, that's it for now. Let's play some games. Right, first round of the day, and we're up against a control mirror. Things are not looking good. think we can keep this hand, even though it has Fatal Push in it. My opponent doesn't have Bowmasters. They're also playing a Tameo list. So as long as we make our land drops, we should be good. Okay, let's bin that for now. Just gonna go ahead and use this. Let's do this at their combat step so that if this goes through, we won't have any problems. Okay, that's fine. We mostly wanted the Jace to resolve. Not sure if they have something to deal with this. They have Get Lost. Also have Prismatic Ending. We can try to counter this. Bruce puts them ahead. I'm just gonna brainstorm for now. Getting rid of push. Well, in that case, I should get rid of the lands instead. Let's draw and discard here. Hmm. Guess I want to refresh my hand. Okay, that's fine. There's a Tameo. We can Bloodchief's Thirst here. Hmm. I guess I should just pass the turn. Flexing Bubble, that's fine. Just gonna get this back. Okay, that's fine. Should get a basic island here. Hmm. Let's see. I don't think they have any way to punish us. Okay. Forgot about Pierce. There's the other treasure cruise. Okay. Now let's get back a him again. Try to fight over this. Okay, they're getting back the rat. Okay, that's good. Okay, we can minus Tybalt. Let's just shoot the Tameo. Attack. Another one. Jace aspect or the Jace Valkyrie aspect of this deck is pretty strong and to control. Post board, we want, let's see, I think we want Long Goodbye, Surgical Extraction, Test of Talents, Spell Snare, Cluster Storm, Thought Seeds, cutting all Fatal Push. We're also going to cut the Shanti and the Ballad. I think Pierce is pretty weak. And what else? Guess we could cut the Drown too. Let's keep. Okay. We can brainstorm freely in this matchup because they don't have Bowmasters. Okay. Can play Bowmasters here. Okay, backup, please. Pay out another. See him. We're gonna Mystic Sanctuary the him back. They missed a token.
I'll aid you. So focus. I am not defenseless. Ugh, I stayed up too late reading.
I'm gonna go with the same play. Guess now we're just gonna have to resolve the Masters.
Clearly, you're not here to learn. Our story
Okay.
together has ended. Use the past to plan for the future.
I'm gonna have to counter this. Mana drain. Now we can get back him. Play brainstorm. And draw lots of cards while we can.
In the right hands, knowledge. Violence is not the answer.
Let's start with a thought seeds. Double mana drain. Guess we take the Lorian revealed.
Stop interrupting my work. I am not defenseless. I wanted to trust you. Think before you act.
Start doing this. Nice. That kind of sucks.
Shh, quiet in the library. Violence is not the answer.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nice. Let's try this.
Stop interrupting my work. I've learned enough. Oh, how am I supposed to focus on only one project?
I just cast Bowmasters here. We just need to get long goodbye. Okay. This line is one of the winning lines that they can have.
This will be a boon to motivate respect to the library. I'll find items to read.
Okay. Okay. They put two onto the top. Kind of bad. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Let's play a little game. Yes, please.
Let's just use the plus. Okay. Here's the thirst. Nice. That was a long one. Hey, second round. We're up against the Abzan ritual deck. This hand is too greedy. Okay, this hand is much worse. Let's bottom the J's. We're not that favored here because they have peddlers, they have overlord for the second turn. So even if I have snare in this spot, they just cast overlord safely like that. I have to fetch black because I will brainstorm I will brainstorm next turn and then probably fetch for red. Right? Don't really want to play this anymore. Bring in spell snares. I guess surgical could be useful here. Torpor Orb is the bane of this deck. We also have Ballad and Pyroclasm. We get rid of Spell Pierce, Demonic Tutor. Well, maybe Tutor should be in here because we have Torpor Orb. Can trim down on combo. I don't think Blood Chief's Thirst is worth it here. We have two more cuts. Probably just a Jace and a Bowmasters. Link to Dust could be Ghost Vacuum instead. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's play first. Okay, pretty good hand. Fetch for tapped red. Okay, I think I'm keeping that since we have the Valky in hand. Might be greedy. If we draw a land, we can hardcast Valky. Should have specified. Okay, probably getting Lurus. Let's cast Tibalt.
Let's play a little game.
Hmm, let's draw this card. Okay, it's fine with me. Bowmasters and Bowmasters back.
Sharing my pain.
Guess we do this. I think I still am okay with this kind of plan. Maybe I'd prefer. Nah, it's just Bowmasters. Let's keep. Let's shock in. If they don't play anything here, we can brainstorm into Lorien. Shanti that. They should take brainstorm here. resolve. So he's back. I just keep this. Okay. We're almost gonna lose. Hmm. We need a ballad off the top, I guess. I don't think we can win here. Yeah, the orb came too late. Nice, nice. We're in the third round against John Delirio. Okay, I don't think this is good against John Delirium. Yes, this is fine. Perfect. We're just gonna fetch first team vents right now, even though that cuts us off. Black mana. I really want to get Shanti going. Hmm. Yes, that's fine. So this will hurt. They have DRC. Just get Watery Grave. And have to counter this. Do they have both? They have double both. Nice. That's perfect. Mhm. Get a Shanti. Okay. Hmm. Now it's about surviving. Okay, against this deck, we want Oh Goodbye, Ballad, Ghost Vacuum, Spell Snare, Spell Pierce is bad here, Jason Valky is bad, Demonic Tutor isn't that great. I think I just have to cut all Jays. Okay, this is a good hand. We have Ballad and Thirst. I just have to Thirst this now. Okay, Raptor. I think I have to drain this. They still have that. Yeah, I just have to naturally draw into answers. Hopefully they don't have sorcery. Okay, let's run it back. Let's play first. This is a bad hand. This is an okay hand. Let's just get a fetch land. I'm just gonna have to push. Let's get red source. Don't really want a Mystic Sanctuary. I'm just gonna let this happen. Because it's very rare to have use for your Bowmasters. That's an auto counter. Do they have Ragavan? They don't play Ragavan. Just get Elurus. Hopefully this ballad just stabilizes. Let's fetch for a Surveil. I think I'm fine with this. Thinking about something. Okay. It also sacrifices my side of the board, so it's not that great. I still should do this. The next turn we can play Lorien Revealed. Yet should get his Lurus. Should have put a stop. Let's just drain this. Hmm. It's kind of intense because we didn't have a lot of our card advantage. It's round 4 and we are playing against the mirror. Let's play first. We don't want this hand against the mirror because this has blood shifters. Just useless here. We can keep this bottoming the fatal push. Let's just play a him. Mhm. So how are we going to plan for this? Probably him here. Okay, let's keep the land. Play a tutor. Let's get a spell snare going. Try to draw some cards here. I think I'm fine with getting Jace countered. Get another Mystic Sanctuary. Hmm. Nice. If that resolved, this means we can resolve this as well. Nice. Against their deck, we want to clear the Fatal Push out. We bring this in. Surgical is in. Ballad is pretty bad here. And I think we can cut some Bowmasters and a Demonic Shooter. Let's try this configuration. Okay, we can keep this. We have Spell Snare. Let's get black. That is okay. It's going to be just a staring match. Spell Snare is gone. That means they're hurting for land drops. Means we're hanging back. The Mystic Sanctuary is a very valuable resource here. That's just him. Okay, just snare this. Try to play him. Okay, let's try to fight over this. Shanti. think this is game. Play this just in case we need insurance. Let's snare. Think we can counter that. We are at the final round of the Swiss against a Tollmaker Bailmerk deck, but with Grief, Reanimate, Dark Ritual, and Sorin. Why is there a Sorin? Oh, say Elenda. Okay, I think I have to mulligan this. This is a bit better, but it's not actually better. It's fine. Yep, I can't beat this line. Not sure if I have a chance here. I think I have Ballad in the main. Yeah, it probably won't work. So against this deck, we want Ballad. Do I want Torpor Orb here? I don't think I need Torpor Orb here. Gonna need Thoughtseize. Spellsnare is also good. The Chief's Thirst is fine. Can't really rely on the combo. Demonic Shooter is bad. Bowmasters is pretty slow. Link to Dust is fine. Hmm. I think we can cut down on the combo harder. Let's try this. Play first. Okay, this is a good hand. I don't think I can win against turn 1 Elinda. We haven't really planned for this. Let's see. I think I take Dollmaker here. Can take the Soren. I think that's fine for me. Get Undercity Sewers. Okay. get mana drain back. Okay, let's use the mana drain there. Take Linda. Just take Sanctuary back. A Guardian revealed. The last card should be mana drain. Okay, we have to mana drain this. Let's try to brainstorm into win condition. Nice, but next game we have to survive turn one. The turn one. I think Spetsner isn't that great here. I probably want surgical extraction instead. Hey, this is not good enough. I don't think this is good enough as well. But we're gonna have to keep. Oh, it's turn one Bale reanimate. Okay, that means they have the doll maker here. Okay, brainstorm. Let's dot C's. Still not out of the woods. Yep, think we're about to lose. Yep, that's just game. Unless we have the ballad, right? It's the first match into top 8. We know that they are a black-white Belcher deck, and I only have a singular spell pierce for this deck. So with that, let's keep this since we have mana drain. We didn't die, so that's a good first step. Let's see if we still don't die here. And we died. We don't have an Otawara, so that's it. Post board, I have Surgical Extraction, Fluster Storm, Thought Seeds, Disruptor Flute. Gonna take out all the spells. You can keep a ballad, I guess. Surgical Extraction won't work here. Blood Chief's Thirst won't work. But I guess let's check their deck list. Post board, they have Defense Grid. I guess we're going to bring in Spell Snare. Then also bring in a Shanti, I guess, just in case. Our plan is to mulligan into interaction, which is Fluster Storm. That covers Dark Ritual. Yes, we have a game. I don't think that speeds up the clock that much. I can just let this go. Okay. We go again. Not keepable. We're going to mull until we find turn one interaction. It's Mulligan again. Well, we can't do any better than this. Let's shock him. Hmm. Don't have Bowmasters, so we don't have to worry. And we got a clock. I think I have to mana drain this. Hmm. What do we do here? We can get Ballad for 8. We have 8 mana. We can go for. I think it's just Ballad here. Okay. Looks like we're going to lose unless we top deck something like him. The snares aren't really helping here, but we aren't prepared for something like this. From his side, he has to think about redundancy. Okay, we have one more shot. See if we're dead. Okay, we're clearly no longer a favorite here, and it will take a miracle to win. think they have it this time. Well, that's it. We weren't prepared for these types of decks where you have to be prepared turn one, but it was a good run. Welcome back. So we ended up losing to Tommy, playing Black White Belcher in the quarterfinals, and we ended up with a 3-3 run. Still ended up at that top eight. So it was a decent run for Chorus Control. But what do we think of the deck? So again, before we entered the tournament, we were noticing an uptick of popularity with regards to the Bailmerk, the Bailmerk decks, which combos with things like Dollmaker and Philia. So Dollmaker is a flicker effect that can essentially cheat Bailmerk into play by turn 3. And Bailmerk is just a good source of card advantage. And they were doing pretty well in the ladder. I've been seeing around 90% win rates and above for those decks. But as for this deck, I've also been playing it prior to the tournament, and I I was actually 11-1 with this deck prior to the tournament. So I thought it was really strong, and I still think it is pretty strong. But overall, the key takeaway from this tournament is that I was underprepared for the degenerate decks. So if I paired against Black White Belcher, for example, like the final round, I've only got 5 1 mana interaction for things like Black White Belcher, and the Sorin Bale Merc deck was actually interesting. It's an unfair version of the Bale Merc decks that are going around. It uses the generate card called Dark Ritual. So on the draw, we don't really have anything to answer a Dark Ritual play. We don't have Force of Negation in this format, so we're stuck to having to play on mana interaction and hoping for the best. And since we're in Grixis, we can't really answer an early 5 mana spell like Bailmerk. This doesn't get hit by push, and it doesn't get hit by Shanti. And there's also the Sorin Elenda combo, as you've seen earlier. I don't think I have that. So this is a 7 mana spell that they cheat out with Sorin. So this is going to be weak against those type of decks. It's going to be weak generally on against Dark Ritual decks because you don't have free interaction in this format. But I think that is fine. The Dark Ritual decks are pretty much high roll decks that you just need to prep for their average draws. So again, load up on 1 mana interaction like Thoughtseize, Spell Pierce. I only cut Spell Pierce in this deck because I kept getting fair opponents that were playing around Spell Pierce. So against better players, they won't run into your Spell Pierce, and this will often be dead in this deck because you're not really pressuring them to do anything. So they can just make their land drops and eventually cast their spell. into spell pierce. So if you wanted to prep against stuff like black white belcher, I would suggest running more spell pierce in the main or even discard spells. But yeah, I think that's it. I think this is a decent deck overall, but if it's better than something like Esper Frog, I'm not really sure. In Esper Frog, you can play Deafening Silence to cancel out Dark Ritual. You can also play Thoughtseize in the main if you wanted to, and more Spell Pierce because it's more effective in this deck than in a control check in a control shell. So yeah, this is probably more favored into those matchups than the Chorus control deck. Control decks have this identity of being strong against creature decks and being weak to combo decks in this format. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.